All right, welcome to another episode of Chally and the Boys. I am your host, Stephen Chalicombe, and you can follow me and the show on Twitter at ChallyATB. And thankfully, joined with me, as always, are both of the co-hosts, Stash and William. How are you, ladies and gentlemen, doing tonight?
Pretty good, thank you.
Pretty good.
Pretty
Very,
good.
very enthusiastic after a completely unprecedented Cowboys win. A little disappointed in you guys for the lack of enthusiasm, but we'll let it slide for now. So,
I mean,
Will, we'll
is it
start off.
unprecedented? I mean, Cooper Rush is 2-0 now. Cooper Rush starts, Cowboys win.
True.
I mean, you're the only one here that's advocating for Dak to get his starting job back when he's fucking healthy.
Maybe the best quarterback of all time. Think about it. He's undefeated, so
He's got more wins than Dak Prescott.
how much worse could you get than perfect, you know? How much better than you can get, you know? I guess that's what I'm gonna say. Swag.
Yeah.
We can get into that.
Yeah.
Damn,
So
okay.
let's start with you, Will. What do you? I guess like first impressions. I mean, even though we're a day separated from the game now, but initial thoughts or whatever from the big win in Dallas.
Uh yeah, I mean that's the best way to say it. The big win, unexpected, like you said. I think we were all thinking that maybe they could keep it close. But I don't think any of us picked them to win, and I think we were all a little shocked by that.
Sure. Sash, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, surprised they won, but I mean, I think we detailed it in the last episode that said if they were going to win, the game would look like that. They'd run the ball and play defense. So it's not like a surprise in that sense that they won the game how they did it.
Yeah. And that man, that's killing me. Like I'm just gonna jump right into it and
Let's
skip my
go.
initial thoughts. Like people saying that Dallas was gonna run the ball and that would be like they didn't even run the ball good, right? Like Tony Pollard had a couple good runs. I mean, and one of them I think was even technically considered a screen. I don't even know if it went down as a rushing attempt. But like Dallas didn't
It
run the
did.
ball good. They had some solid runs, but it's not like they had some dominant run game, right? Like I'm actually trying to look up the stats right now if one of you guys have them. I don't think they
The
had.
the offense really wasn't much better than it was in the game before. If you
Nah,
looked
it was
at
way better.
I mean, it scored
no,
two
I'm saying
touchdowns.
if you looked at the stats, like the overall, like I guess they call it EPA, expected
Yeah.
points per attempt, Dallas was 31st in the league in week 2.
So Cincinnati 32nd,
I don't know exactly, but I'm saying it wasn't like the offense was
humming.
humming. It was just, I mean, in the second half, it was terrible.
Yeah,
Outside of that,
they
Yeah, they
really
didn't
did
have the
only have those
ball.
two good
Yeah,
drives, right?
yeah.
Which
yeah, they just had the last drive, the fumble drive where Schultz fumbled it at like the 25 or 30-yard line, and then the last one.
yeah, and
But
Dallas
other than
only
that,
had I have it here only 107 yards on the ground, which I'm not saying it's a bad game, but a lot of the different like outlets and whatnot are just like Dallas run game really kept them in it and blah blah blah. I'm like I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know what game y'all were watching, but um,
and
whatever.
I think that the numbers, like, yeah, the total numbers were not great, but like I know for a fact that Zeke had multiple carries where he was met behind the line of scrimmage and like never had a chance to get back to the line of scrimmage. Like he had an 8 yard loss, he had multiple 3 and 4 yard losses, which hurts the numbers overall because as soon as you lose like 15 yards, I mean that's 4 carries, you know what I mean? So you're right, it wasn't great, but I don't think anybody that predicted the Cowboys to win or thought it would be close. I don't think anybody in their right mind thought it was going to be like they were going to come in here and steamroll the Bengals. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, no,
no,
not at all.
Because the
Um,
Bengals aren't. The Bengals have a good line or front, defensive line.
yeah, we did see that in the second half, right? Like it was almost absent in the first half, but we really saw
Readers
their
Readers is an animal.
yeah
yeah.
we saw
DJ
their front
Reader.
seven come alive
Yeah.
really hard in the second half.
I mean, I think the thing that helped Dallas was they didn't have to chase the game. They didn't get behind
Yeah.
early. They were able to like run the ball, like being able to not have to throw the ball like all the time,
Yeah.
I guess, is what
That's a really good way to say it.
helped them. And it helped Cooper Rush because I mean he made some throws that should have been picked. I mean, same thing happened to Dak last week, is he also made some throws that should have been picked. One was, but it's just, I mean, when you don't have to chase the game, you can afford
A couple more mistakes.
to, well, not mistakes, but afford to not have to score.
Well,
Like
yeah,
you can
that
afford
too.
to punt the ball.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, and it's probably or definitely goes without saying how big of a game Noah Brown had. I mean, and we definitely saw it was way more clear this week than it was week one. But and Will, I don't know if you have these stats already, so sorry if I'm stealing your thunder. But
Oh,
the separation Noah Brown and CeeDee Lamb had every time they caught the ball was ginormous, right? Like they were tearing apart. Maybe not tearing apart is the right way, but like they were getting on in between the different zones that the Bengals were showing them and catching the ball in space. It was easy throws
You know
for
what
us
it
to be
looked
asked to
like?
make.
It looked like somebody that maybe wasn't playing, that maybe had some preseason snaps and was in rhythm.
oh my God.
Uh,
Jesus Christ.
he's not
Maybe.
wrong, I
We gotta
guess,
end
right?
the episode. You know what I'm saying?
We get to
Well,
what?
Danucci played in the preseason too. Should we get him out there?
So did Will Greer. Get them all out there.
Right? You know?
Everybody out there on the same play.
Wildcat with all three of them. Yeah.
Just keep throwing it to each other, and then throw the Hail Mary.
Quadruple option. 4 quarterbacks.
I think to counter that though, they were also saying too is like, yeah, right. They didn't have to play catch up, so that was nice. But well, CeeDee Lamb had a lot of open. You're right, but Noah Brown had what did he have 5 or 6 catches? All of his catches were huge, and then a couple of them. I mean, he had the one on the jump off sides where they threw down the field, and he was draped right there.
Yeah.
You know,
That was a
and
good
he
catch.
made
It
the
was a
big
great
catch on the tip ball too. I mean,
Yeah, he had 4 of his catches. 4 of them went for first downs, I believe. So.
and the other one was a touchdown. It
Yeah,
was
he
third down,
was
4th down conversions, and touchdown.
averaging
Yeah. So
18 yards a catch. I mean,
yeah,
did you ever expect that from Noah Brown?
yeah.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
I'm telling you, it's a problem.
So let's just cut CeeDee Lamb right now. We would need CeeDee for.
I don't think we do.
Finally saw Cavante Turpin get the ball on offense, which unfortunately was only once, but that happens.
Didn't do much, but hey, they got to think about it now. He's out there.
He had the nice punt return though. Almost broke it.
Almost broke it.
Yeah,
Almost broke it.
But they don't have to worry about him on punt returns, though, right?
Nah. No.
I mean, we've gone 2 games and we've seen both teams that they played kick to him, so I was right. They're not catering to the fact that he returns 1 for a touchdown. They're not.
Well, he only got 2 punts. As
Okay.
they punted more than 2 times in the game, so they're not trying to punt him the ball.
There's been 2. I mean, it was the same thing in week 1. How many punts were there in week 1? I'd have
I
to
don't
look,
know.
but I'm just saying that it's been 2 weeks where they have not avoided punting the ball to him.
Oh my God. I don't think anybody's ever avoided. I'm just saying that they at least got to think about it. And
They're
I
obviously
mean,
not thinking about it.
You think after he returned that punt for what was it, 24 yards or whatever, that Cincinnati was like, okay, so let's definitely kick it to him next time.
I don't think they were like,
He
man.
didn't return.
I don't
He
think
didn't
they
get
were
another
like,
punt
man, we
after
got to
that, but-
avoid him.
Oh.
I think maybe they were like, maybe
Flip
we
the
need
field,
to get
man.
that
That was
high.
a 63-yard punt.
So that's a fair catch.
Right.
What was that about a fair catch?
I was thinking maybe they're like, maybe got to make him fair catch it. Don't let him return it. It's the same thing as avoiding it.
Sure, except for I mean, how many times is it going to be the receiving team's fault that they have to fair catch because they weren't blocking appropriately or whatever? Then the punter forcing him to do a fair catch, right? Like
I wonder how many punters have the ability of actually putting the ball where they want instead of. I mean,
they could kick it out of bounds, right? I mean,
yeah, but I don't know if that's
which is
that's
something you
definitely
guys
not always-
suggested in the preseason, right? Like that they would be game planning for Cavante Turpin, which is not the case. I don't know.
I think you lose. You think you lose a lot of yards on punts unless you're trying to pin them into like the 10 and in by kicking it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way,
That's
they're not
that's a
game
big win
planning
for Dallas.
Cavante
If they're
Turpin's
gonna
punt
kick
return.
if they kick it out of bounds, I think so. I don't know.
They're not doing that either. That's my point. You guys are agreeing with me that they are not doing the things you thought they would be doing.
Well, week 2. Wait.
Of course. Anyway, back to the real stories.
Oh.
What?
Your New York Rangers made a trade
This is the Dallas Cowboys channel. Josh,
with the Dallas Stars. So it's
welcome. They both suck.
they traded away Niels Lundqvist
No, never mind. I can't say that on YouTube.
for
What
a
do you say?
first
Is
round pick
Ukrainian
and
or
a
something?
fourth round pick.
That's an absolute steal. It's literally robbery, highway. So anyway, what were you gonna say, Steve?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm still stunned about
Stash ruined the
Devontae Sharp
trade?
and stuff. I guess that was really it on offense, though, right? Like, I mean, not much. There really isn't much known on offense. The offensive line is still playing pretty well. Not pretty, better than expected. That's for sure. I think we definitely need to note that. Other than that, do you have anything on offense? I mean, the defense definitely stole the show and was the show. No? Okay, got it.
I'd still be intrigued to see what they do at left guard if and when Peters gets healthy or is ready to play.
So I mean, we could talk about
What do you want them
to do?
Steele played better, but I'm saying what's his name at left guard was not good. The backup.
Farniak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Smith looked really good from what I could tell on left tackle.
He shut out was it Hendrickson or what's his name?
Hendrickson.
I mean, he's a really good end. So
yeah,
that's good.
He's done really good so far.
From what I saw, I think he did miss a couple assignments but I mean, listen, there's players on the other team. And they're good players on the other team, so they're going to make plays whether you miss assignments or not. It just sucks. Like, I guess if you miss assignment, you'd rather them I would rather my player get beat physically.
Yeah.
On a play than just oops, wrong guy. Kind of thing. But all those guys are young, so that's just going to happen either way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they only sacked Cooper Rush one time, and Cooper Rush can't run faster than me with 2 broken legs. So I know it's okay, they got the ball out pretty quick, but that's a good defensive line there, and I was pretty impressed.
So Stash, what do you want to see, or what do you want to see if I say next week? I think the week 3 was
next week. I think we're going to see
Peters
the same.
Would be around.
I think we're seeing the same offensive line next week. But.
What about you, Will?
I don't know. I mean, is Peters going to be healthy next week? If Peters is healthy next week, I think they're going to keep Steele there no matter what, right? Because they don't have any money invested in him, and he's a average starter. So then the only other option is Peters play left tackle and they move Smith in. The only thing we were disagreeing with last week is that could Peters play right tackle? I think everybody thinks that he could play right tackle. I think he thinks he could play right tackle. He doesn't want to play right tackle. That's on him or whatever, So the only other option is Peters goes left tackle and Smith moves in. But if you want Smith to be your long-term left tackle, I think you make Peters your right tackle. I mean, nobody else wanted fucking Peters. Let's be clear there too. Or other people didn't. He just wanted to come home one last ride and hurrah in Dallas. Okay, I mean, maybe if you want to believe that, sure, but you signed him. He could just play right tackle if that's what they want.
He could just also not be a starter, right? I mean, it might not, might be odd, right? Considering they brought him in at a time of need or whatever. But I mean, are you really going to be kicking in Tyler Smith for a couple games? And again, like I said before, I mean, Jason Peters is going to get tired in the fourth quarter, and then what? You kick out Tyler Smith, the left tackle again, and then Farniak, the left guard. I don't know. I mean, I would prefer to see Tyler Smith, the left tackle, throughout, unless your issues come up.
I mean, I think right now they're just the way he's been playing. I don't see how they move him.
Yeah, he's playing good.
Left guard. Unless you said there's issues with Farniak, if there continues to be issues with Farniak or when McGovern comes back.
He's got a high ankle sprain, right?
Yeah.
He's gone for so. But what if Farniak was to get hurt? Then who has to play guard? Seriously.
Yeah, then I think you do kick in.
And do you have to move Smith in? Yeah.
Well, here's a question for you too, and maybe it's just a very similar thing that we saw about 6-7 years ago. What happens? And I don't think it's going to happen. What happens if Tyron Smith comes back healthy? And Tyler Smith has been good.
Then I think you just kick Tyler Smith inside.
So you do move him?
Yeah, if he comes back. Oh yeah, okay. Under these circumstances, I assume they're only bringing him back if he's definitely healthy and Dak's healthy, and they're trying to make the
If
playoffs. You know what I mean?
if Tyler Smith has been playing good,
Yep.
however the fuck you define good,
Yeah.
and Tyron Smith comes back and they say he's 100% healthy, I'm not moving Tyler Smith. Because at the point Tyron Smith is potentially coming back is week what, fucking 14 or something.
Well, yeah. All
Like
right.
you've
That's what.
had a
Yeah.
solidified left tackle all season. Why change something that's working for a dude who's probably he had his hamstring tear away from the bone? Like
Sure.
I'm not putting that dude into my starting
Make,
left tackle.
week 17. Knock the over under, take the over under away. At this point, they're trying to make it to the playoffs. Whatever that is, if they're trying to get 10 wins or 8 wins, whatever it is to get to the playoffs, right? To win the division, let's just say.
Sure.
Tyron Smith can come back for he's been practicing since week 16, right? He's just getting healthy, he's getting in shape. You saying for one game you don't want a Hall of Famer at left tackle who's still in shape. Like he's not old, and I mean he's injured for sure, but like for one game on the line you don't want Tyron Smith at left tackle and Tyler Smith at left tackle?
I'm not saying it wouldn't
Win
be
it
an
all.
upgrade, but I'm just saying, like, you have something that works. Why would you change it, right? Tyron Smith isn't winning you a game against the Commanders in Week 18 or whoever it is. That's not the
Yeah,
difference in the game.
but what if it's Tyler Smith playing left guard is way better than Farniak at left guard?
But how much time
Way better.
would he have spent at left guard at that point in time?
Well, he wouldn't have spent any because he would have been playing left tackle. That shit, I don't buy that for anything. I don't care what anybody sells. All the big people, all the big wigs out there. I think that they're full of shit. I don't buy it for a second.
Don't buy what, motherfucker? What are you talking
That
about?
that Tyler Smith couldn't move from left tackle to left guard because he hadn't played there all year. He
No,
couldn't do it. He just
I
couldn't
don't.
figure it out.
I don't.
That's bullshit. And I think anybody that says that is lying through their teeth. That's
Yeah,
what I
I
think.
don't question that. Again, I would stick to. I don't think you change something that's already working, especially for one game.
What Tyler Smith is? Let's say Tyler Smith is playing at an 8, a 7 or an 8 at left tackle, and Tyron Smith for one game can be a 10.
Can be a 10.
I don't
You're
know.
not
Maybe he's.
guaranteeing it though.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But Tyler Smith is only an 8. Are you saying that if Tyron Smith does come back healthy, he's not better than Tyler Smith at left tackle right away? I think he is right away the first day. At that point, you're not worried about next year. You're trying to win.
What are you getting out of that? That's like you're
Because then Farniak's not on the field. Stash just said Farniak was dog shit at left guard.
even if he is, like
here's a question for you too, and just because you brought it up, say Tyler Smith is playing well, playing good, like in
You'd have different names too. This is bullshit. T. Smith. It's
yeah.
the
rookie. Say the rookie's playing at the 8 level you just spoke of.
Yeah.
If Tyron Smith is coming back, is healthy,
yeah.
Do you train him to play guard?
No. He's not the right body type. Could he do it?
You just said it doesn't matter though.
Yeah, I'm saying it doesn't matter, but that doesn't mean that it's any better. You're saying move Tyron Smith to play left guard?
Yeah, because he hasn't been doing it.
That's not even remotely close to the same thing. Yeah, but he could do it. I'm saying. You're saying it's not an option. It couldn't happen.
One person, and not you're just
it's not the same thing.
You're switching 2 people. You're switching out 1.
I don't know, man. I think that's just what is Stephen A. Smith? That's asinine, asinine, S11. That's what that is right there.
What the fuck?
I think that's full of shit. Yeah.
I will say it again. I just don't think you change something that works. Why would you? Like you're fucking with the formula that works, and then what?
How bad does Tyler Smith have to be playing at left tackle for you to be okay with that then?
Well, here's the thing: if Tyler Smith is playing bad at left tackle, Jason Peters would be in there, and then you switch out Peters for Tyron Smith.
You don't. Then what if Peters is 40? What if he gets hurt? We're doing all these what ifs, but
that's the problem with this whole Jason Peters thing, right? Like, because if you do kick in Tyler Smith, which
he can't play right tackle though, he can only play left tackle.
Let's pretend we have kicked in Tyler Smith to left guard and put Peters at left tackle.
Yeah.
We saw last year. I mean, there's proof that he gets injured or tired in the fourth quarter and he needs to get replaced, and then he's known to miss a couple quarters or even games at that point. Like, I don't want to see the back and forth with Tyler Smith. If Tyler Smith is playing good enough, like we've seen in the last 2 games, just keep him at fucking left tackle. He's the future left tackle of
Is
this.
he?
He's not the future.
He,
He is.
whatever. Yeah, he
Are we
is.
sure
Yeah,
about
like,
that?
yeah, he might as well be.
Just because he's playing left tackle now doesn't mean that's what he has to be.
Yeah, you're right. But that's you're saying that Dallas is going to draft another left tackle in the first round next year, which one I personally would think would be a mistake, and two, I like you have your left tackle. Just run with it.
Okay.
Fuck Tyron Smith. I'll say it.
I mean, yeah, I don't have. I'm just saying, like, the whole moving around thing. I think it is, if it's just 1 or 2 games. First of all, I don't think that affects Tyler Smith at all. And
Here's the
then
thing,
I think
though.
it
and
does.
if he has to retire at the end of the year or whatever, you move on from it at the end of the season when it's over.
We saw what Tyron Smith looked like coming off of injury last year for 1 game.
Uh,
The playoffs. He was dog shit against San Francisco.
yeah, I mean, I'd have to go back and I don't know, man. I'm not taking anybody on the Cowboys offensive line over Tyron Smith to play left tackle. So
His hamstring tore off the bone.
what the hell does that matter? I don't care if he has 2 broken legs. If he comes back and he's healthy enough to play a game. How do you not just?
He's not even gonna make it through a full game. Like
That's fine. Then you just move Tyler Smith. He moves out of place for a few series. Then he's good to go.
That's a bad plan.
That's the Dallas plan, though. Dallas does have bad plans.
Yeah, you're right. I
I don't know.
mean, are we
All right, let's talk about the
happy with the
defense.
Smiths?
The defense was good.
Yeah, take it away, Sash. Go ahead. Or is that all you got?
Will, what was your highlight from the defense from this game?
There's only one answer to this.
No, there's not only one answer
There
because
is.
everybody that's talking about it is saying the wrong answer.
Nope.
Okay.
All right. What's your one answer?
Everybody's making such a big deal about the Trayvon Diggs tackle that ended the drive. That wasn't the play before. That was a way better tackle and way more important than the last one. The open field, the screen, or the little shit right in front of him, and he tripped him up. If he doesn't make that tackle, he might make that house.
So you're not wrong.
And then the one he made that was such a big deal. The only reason it would have been a big deal if there was space. I mean, he literally caught the ball and Diggs was on top of him as he's catching the ball. It's not like he caught the ball, he turned around and Diggs was closing in on him at 4 yards and ran in on him. He was right on top of him.
I mean, he did. He did have to close on him. Like
here's something interesting about that last play. I don't know if you saw it. Apparently, at least this is confirmed about Dallas. Dallas was having mic issues. There was actually no defensive play called from upstairs. Dan Quinn confirmed that.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that.
He hypothesized that Cincinnati was having the same issues, but I haven't seen anything about that. He said Dallas wasn't able to get a defensive play call in from.
So it's amazing that, one, if that's true, it's amazing that kind of stuff still happens in NFL games with the technology that they have and like all the foolproofing they should have. But that would hype me up more if like Diggs if he was playing way off the ball and then like he made had to make like a wild play on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like he was out of position because the call wasn't in. You know what I mean? And then he made a crazy play, but he was right there, man. Were they worried that he was going to catch the ball and then like he was going to drag Diggs because it wasn't like, I mean, he saw it a couple yards before the first down.
I mean, Diggs just isn't a good tackler though. Like we haven't seen Diggs make a tackle like that before. We haven't.
Well, we've seen Deion Sanders that stuff and not choose any effort. I mean, we were talking about that earlier in the game when Cincinnati went and scored a touchdown on the drive earlier. Hayden Hurst had like a third down catch that Diggs made no effort to get off his guy and go tackle Hayden Hurst.
Right, but yes, I 100% agree Diggs is not a good tackler, right? But you guys don't think there's any difference between me being Diggs and the ball coming at, like the runner coming at me and having to make the wrap tackle, or we're both running,
I think
one way and the ball catches and you're right on top of him. You know what I mean?
I think there's a difference in Trayvon Diggs' mind. I think if he sees somebody running at him, he runs away. Where if he sees the guy not looking at him, he's going to go up and try to make an effort.
Right. Right,
Yeah, and I
exactly.
also,
That's why.
I mean, I don't
That's why
think
I
it
don't
was
think it's
some like,
that. That
I don't think it was some like freak athletic play, right? It was a good open field tackle that prevented the first down, right? I mean, acknowledge that, but that it also showed like as we expected this defense to regress to the mean for catchphrase in turnovers, right? Like, so if they were not going to be getting the turnovers they needed to do, they needed to make these types of tackles. Like, I think
yeah,
this
I could
represented
agree.
more than the solo tackle itself. You're right, because it was not an extremely impressive tackle. Like, it's a tackle any NFL defender needs to be able to make.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you just
And
need
does
to.
99% of the time, by the way.
But it
Yeah.
backed up the fact that, like, hey, we're not going to be getting 3-4 turnovers a game, but we're also going to be able to make these tackles. I don't know. That's why I thought it was just the best or
I
the
thought it was
biggest play
nice
of the
to
night.
see Dallas defense make a stop like that at the end of the game to
Yeah.
give the offense the ball back
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
haven't seen that. We haven't
Yeah.
seen that in the past.
Yeah. That's a good take. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say, that all the sacks were great, right? Because you have Micah Parsons just absolutely spinning around Lyle Collins for fucking sacks. You have Micah Parsons eating up
We need
double
him for
teams
right
for dudes
tackle.
like LVE. So he had a bad game, but he is. I would
He's been
take him
dog shit
over
for 2
Steele.
weeks. Yeah.
He
I
didn't
don't
play.
know.
He didn't. He didn't play
I
like that in
wonder.
Dallas.
I wonder what Pro Football Focus said about Lyle Collins so far this year.
Not good,
Yeah,
probably.
it's probably
You know,
not good.
that's a really good reputable thing.
You're the one who
If
wants
they
to look
ranked
it up.
him good, that'd be surprised. I'd be surprised by that. But
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, sorry.
But yeah, that's just why I wasn't saying the sacks were, even though, like I said, Micah's generating his own sacks and he's generating space for other dudes to get sacks. The defensive front was all over Joe
Chomp.
Burrows all night.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where you could tell, man, I don't want to say Joe Burrows was scared, but he had to think about it, right? Like, he let a lot of passes go early because he was scared. I don't know. He felt the pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about scared, but definitely
Yeah,
he was definitely rushed for
yeah,
sure. You know what I mean?
100%.
And you know what? I don't think there's many quarterbacks that have ever played the game that would have been okay with that kind of shit.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not
You know?
trying to take a shot at Burrow.
No, yeah. I mean, fantasy quarterback. That's me. You know.
they showed there was video of him yelling over to their head coach, offensive coordinator, telling him no empty set. Like don't call any plays out of empty set.
Yeah.
The poor
Not
guy.
that Joe Mixon's gonna be blocking any of their guys coming either or whatever, you know, but yeah. I get that's why the quarterbacks get paid the big money, man, because they could just die. You know? And you can't you can't even hit quarterbacks really anymore, you know?
Oh yeah, speaking of the fucking not hitting the quarterback, so the two, I think actually a lot of the defensive penalties are something we could probably go over, right? Like that was a huge shift, right? We didn't see any defensive penalties week 1, week 2 we don't see any. Were there no offensive penalties? There might have been like one. I don't remember off the top of my head, but either way, it was almost entirely defensive penalties. 2 of them being late hits on the quarterback. One I think was kind of, the was it the Anthony Barr one, the first one? I thought that could have gone either way. I don't think it was a bad call, but had they not called it, I think nobody would have been upset. And then the second one, Donovan Wilson, I mean, that was a late hit, unfortunately.
But so did they? This is just me not knowing the rules, but it wasn't a blow to the head, right? It was just because he was already sliding. That's why it was a penalty.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Defense doesn't have any chance, do they?
Yeah, I mean
No, not against quarterbacks, really. I mean, I personally didn't like either call just because, I mean, one, Burrow dove head first, and I know they changed the rule on that, but like on the Barr one, the first one, I didn't. The second one was total crap because he was already diving to tackle him before he even slid. So
yeah, that's why the Barr one was close. I mean, I get it. He hit him and he was already sliding, but like you said, he was already kind of diving at him as he was starting his slide. But the Donovan Wilson one was clear to me. I thought that was unfortunately a good call. I mean,
when you first saw the play, when Barr tackled the tight end and his leg did the shimmy.
Oh man!
When you first saw it though, like when you're instant, did you think that was a horse collar? because it
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh,
because when the replay I saw it, but I was like, holy
Just because
Christ.
the way he
Yeah.
bent him in half.
Yeah.
I
That was.
I didn't even think of that. It was
Woo!
the first time I saw it live. I was like, oh, there goes his ankle, and then they showed it
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
slow mo, and it's like, oh no, like
And they didn't even pick up on it right away. They waited till the instant replay, and then they were like, "Oh, like But that's why I
yeah,
said the first thing I saw was his leg do to Watusi. You know what I mean? I was like, he's done.
that was
You
oh
know?
man, I didn't need to see that on live TV. Um,
But yeah, no, I thought it was definitely, it looked like it, just the way he bent over and brought him down. He definitely looked like a horse collar, but
Yeah. I was like, "Oh no!"
because I saw it, I didn't notice the leg injury at first. I saw it and I'm like, geez, I'm like, that's how people legs get bent in half. And I'm like, oh, his leg
Yeah.
did get bent in half.
Yep. It went well by.
I mean, what a huge game statistically though. So I'm just looking at this now. I didn't really realize this before. They had 8 tackles for a loss, right? Like I did not realize
Yeah.
that's not including the fucking 6 sacks I had, obviously, right? Like I didn't realize it was that painful for them. So Donovan Wilson, fucking Van Der Esch, Barr, Parsons had 2, Armstrong had 2, and Sam
Those
Williams,
those do include the sacks though, right?
no. So there was 14 hits in the
Oh, I
backfield.
thought is that right? I
I
thought
mean, I'm
because
looking at it on
Parsons had two
ESPN.
sacks
2 sacks and
and
2 tackles for loss, according to this. All right, I'm just looking at ESPN.
Either way, I mean, they were on the other, like, whatever the number is, they were on the other side of the line of scrimmage all game.
oh yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, I mean, everybody knew Cincinnati's offensive line wasn't good. I mean, it was literally the worst offensive line in like the history last year. But I mean, no shots fired at Collins, but they replaced all 4 of their 5 starters. Like, so they were supposed upgrades. And like, how do you feel? Like, Burrow's got to be just tight, right? Like, you got me all these up, but they're not any good upgrades.
Yeah.
You still got like what 9 straight games of like
7
sacks,
or
3+
yeah,
sacks.
it's just it's not good. It's really, 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 really bad. You know?
It's Andrew Luck,
Holy
man.
cow! Yeah,
Retiring
maybe.
at the age of fucking 28 or whatever.
Why not? Get your Tron and get out.
Yeah, they say get paid and say, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
not?
Shit. What else? I mean, I feel like there was way more in the game, but
Well,
we just
Stash,
kinda
what was your play?
blew through it. Oh yeah.
What was
your
my
Steve?
play?
Yeah.
I mean, defensive play, it had to be. I mean, Micah Parsons, the one where he just made Lyle Collins a turnstile.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty good.
Like
What about you, Steve?
he made Lyle Collins do a 360 circle, and you don't see that very often.
Which way did you go? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
mine was the Trayvon Diggs tackle in space. Again, for the reasons I already mentioned, but since we kind of already went over that, I guess. I guess so. Man, maybe the LVE sack for similar reasons, right? Because that was Parsons taking up a double team, and again, that was just a dude creating space for another player. And not that we didn't see LVE get sacks last year, but I mean it's his first one this year. I'm pretty sure.
It's not really his thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really his thing, right? Like, so it was nice to see, and again, it was symbolic, if you will, with Micah Parsons really creating that hole for him. Without Micah Parsons putting the pressure on the edge, that hole doesn't happen. LV doesn't get that sack. You know, who knows what happens from there.
Is he going to break the sack record this year if he stays healthy?
He already said he will, as long as they let him rush. Like, so if the player's saying it, yeah. I mean, as long as they keep letting him do it.
I don't think he will.
Yeah. And a quick shout out to Donovan Wilson. He almost, I mean, from what I saw, I mean, I'm not going to give him anything for that penalty because I think it was pretty close to a bang-bang play. But he played almost a perfect game from what I saw. He missed that one tackle in the backfield where I thought he was about to smoke that running back, and he just missed. He just whiffed on him. But other than that, he pretty much played a perfect game filling in for Curse.
We know Steve hates Donovan Wilson, but we all did agree that, like, before Curse came in, Donovan Wilson was obviously their best safety, right? Like, if they hadn't signed Curse and Wilson would have stayed healthy, Wilson would have been Curse last year. I wonder if Curse even comes. And this is what you were saying earlier. I wonder if Curse gets back on the field when he's healthy. I'm serious, man. Or like, they're gonna do. It's more gonna be like a, everybody shares role. Like, but Wilson's not gonna come off the field if he's healthy. Like, he's gonna be getting plenty of. knock him off the field. He's going to be getting plenty of snaps.
If
So
he
the snaps
continues
have to come from somewhere.
If he continues to play like that, Dallas is going to have a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Well,
But even if they have a good problem, like
who's coming off the field in that sense?
Anthony Barr.
Your boy's coming off the field.
Oh, chill.
Who?
Yeah, LV.
Well, yeah,
LV
I mean, he will probably get his snaps cut. Yeah, I mean, the snaps are not going to come from one person, but they're going to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's probably going to lose some snaps.
Curse and Wilson are both big enough to play that hybrid linebacker safety role. So.
Yeah, 100%. That's probably what would happen with Curse if Wilson keeps up the play he's having. His Curse will just move down into the box.
Yeah, man, but what if? I mean, LVE's playing like an animal too, though. So, like, how do you? I mean, you're right. That's the best part of the problem to have, though. I mean, I guess is they just got to choose who gets lots of snaps, and then if somebody else gets hurt or has to play, then you're like, all right, this dude can just do really good too, right?
Yep.
I don't know. That's interesting. It's a really good problem to have.
Just wait and see.
Yeah.
Was that gonna be like 3 or 4 weeks now until for Curse to come back, right?
Yeah. So, who thought that Maher missed that last kick?
I did.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm still not convinced.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been a hoax there.
Dude, he was amped up for that kick because if you saw the 54-yarder he kicked that kind of barely reached the netting, and then that one was from 50, and that had probably a good another 20 yards to go.
He was making sure, man.
I mean, he knew. So Maher went to the bar afterwards, and he was just telling everyone out the edge at the game-winning field goal. He was just definitely just trying to slay as much as he could.
Here's something funny. I saw Maher's.
Hey, you might have a wife.
Maher's wife was on Twitter, and she said, "We're having sex tonight."
No, did she really?
Yeah.
There
No.
you go. See?
That's
why he was
That's
losing
fake news. That's fake news right there, Stash.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
All right.
Why do you follow his wife on Twitter?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Somebody else. One of the Cowboys guys.
Someone else.
One of the Cowboys guys. Interesting. Yeah, makes sense. All right, any last minute, second thoughts, whatever, before we wrap it up here? I think we pretty much covered everything we really wanted to.
Nothing on the game, but what about, since we all were really excited about the pick and the player, what about Ridgeway getting claimed? Anybody? I mean, it shows how deep they are at tackle, right?
Yep.
It sucks that
he got claimed.
Well, I know. Well, just from listening to Washington radio, whatever, they basically let go 2 of their supposed run-stopping guys in free agency last year and didn't re-sign them. And they're giving up 9 yards a carry to running backs through the first 2 games. So
Ridgeway's coming.
Ridgeway's playing 50 snaps. He's playing 50 snaps against the Cowboys.
I mean, it sucks. He was a guy that we liked coming out of the draft. He showed some. I mean, he said all the right things, but I had a rough training camp. But you're gonna find 5th-round nose tackles every draft. So
who else had a rough training camp still on the roster? Jalen
Tolbert. Yeah.
Scrub. Send him packing.
I mean, he's a 3rd-round pick. I don't think you're gonna send him packing or whatever. But I think.
What about Jabril Cox?
I mean, that's the problem though. Is that who are they gonna sit? That's like the good problem to have. I mean, maybe he's just not better than Van Der Esch and Anthony Barr and Parsons. I mean,
well, Gifford.
But I mean, Gifford doesn't play defense at all. But I guess is Gifford that important on special teams? I guess. Does he make the calls or something? I don't. That's something we need to look into. I think.
Gifford, Harper, because is Harper a deep? He's a linebacker too, right?
He's a linebacker, yeah. Man, that's a good question, Stash.
Well, the thing is, too, Dallas has the other linebacker from that was hurt.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be like a
the IR
2nd-round pick.
Yeah.
That's could be coming back in the middle of the season too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know this. That is something that we need to find out answers to, though, because I don't know the answer to that.
I didn't we all heard good things about Cox during the preseason.
Yeah,
right.
Seemed.
It's not like he was still hurt. Like he played a lot of snaps. So.
Yeah, it's just hard. Like, how do you even if he is a good player, some people have to sit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah.
It's interesting. He's just not dressing either. So
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about Ridgeway either. Long story short, I mean, I like that they picked up like Ridgeway the player doesn't matter to me. Whatever. I just like that they chose a nasty dude. At least they're attempting to. But it's also like I
Yeah.
said, man, they got too many NFL caliber defensive tackles and dudes we're gonna have to get, and that's why they IR bash them for the same thing.
when they brought in Ridgeway to basically play against Bohanna and what is it, Hill or somebody else, and they stepped up. So
Yeah.
he was expendable.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, they wanted to bring him back on the practice squad.
Yeah, they try.
And
Yeah. They're clean.
apparently Washington wasn't the only team that claimed him.
Right.
It was not another team that.
But before we log off here, though, would you be surprised if he's back on the Cowboys practice squad by the end of the year?
No.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, he'd have to go if he gets cut from Washington, that means he has to go through waivers again. Sure. It means the other team that cut him potentially has a chance to claim him.
Right, but I assume if Washington cuts him, then he just was bad.
Right.
And,
so if Washington cuts him, why re-signing him?
They want to keep their own guys or whatever, or just because if he's on the practice squad, he doesn't really hurt them anyway, you know?
No. Yeah. I don't know.
Here's something I saw earlier today. Dallas has got a familiar face to see this weekend.
Oh,
Carson Wentz, dude.
They're playing New York.
Whatever.
Jalen Smith was just signed by the Giants.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
Yep.
Probably the second time we play against him, right? Because we played against him when he was on the Packers.
And the Giants last year.
And Giants.
Oh, yeah. The Giants, yeah. That poor guy.
Yeah, he's good for us.
Good for him, I guess. He's got a payday. All right, we'll wrap it up there. We will see you guys next time.